Hey, what's going on, guys? Today, I'm talking about 5 tips or mechanics you can add to your skills to instantly improve your recoveries in Rocket League. Any training packs I make or use in this video will be linked in the description for you to use for your own training. The first mechanic that I'm going to talk about doesn't really have a name, but we've seen it become more and more popular in pro gameplay in the last couple of seasons. In essence, it's a variation of a preflip that's sort of combined with a wave dash when you're near the wall. It's useful for when you need to flip near a wall or for a touch near the wall that you want to gain speed, but you don't want to get caught up in the full flip animation, which can take much longer to recover from. To do this, all that's required is that we have momentum towards the wall, and when we jump, we pull our nose up and air roll slightly towards the wall. Then we flip diagonally forward and away from the wall with a flip cancel. This should give you the speed of a flip, but also land your wheels cleanly on the wall to cancel the flip animation and carry your momentum through the play, just like a wave dash does. I use this movement a lot when I need to flip through a ball that's near the wall to get power, but I don't want to get stuck in the full flip animation before being able to follow up on my touch. As you can see, this gives you a cleaner recovery from the flip and allows you to quickly move into the next step of your play or rotation. Next up, this one's pretty simple and self-explanatory, but when you go for an aerial shot or play towards the opponent's net and we have to get back quickly, we can land in the net sort of like a ramp back down onto the field and into rotation. If you couple this movement with a flip or a half flip once you get back to the ground, you can be moving supersonic pretty much almost instantly after your play. It may seem like something small, but these little recovery skills stack up throughout a game, and since speed is exponential, the most impactful moment of any recovery is the very beginning. How you start your recovery can be the difference between being the one who's scoring versus being the one who's scored on. This next mechanic has gained a lot of popularity recently. It's been named the Zap Dash, after the player Azapdos, who is the first person to use it frequently in Johnny Boy 1v1 Invitationals. If you've never heard of it, just imagine a wave dash that doesn't require you to jump off the ground. There are certain positions in Rocket League that when you jump, the wall or ground will kind of absorb your jump. Players have discovered a way to use this instance to force a wave dash without ever leaving the ground. When one side of your car's suspension is more compressed than the other and you try to jump, the less compressed side will pop off the ground and the more compressed side will stay grounded for a moment. If you time a flip perfectly in this moment, then you'll instantly get a zap dash without ever needing to go through the animation of a flip or the delay of jumping then landing for a normal wave dash. You can use this literally anywhere on the field as long as you meet the requirements I mentioned for the mechanic to work. I've even scored goals or saved shots that I wouldn't have been in position in time for if I didn't implement this zap dash. Now, personally, the extended version of this recovery mechanic hurts my hands because I'm an old man, so I can't really do it. But I have found that doing 1 or 2 wall dashes combined with a little bit of boost is consistent enough for me to get a good burst of speed that, similar to the zap dash, allows me to recover quicker and get to plays sooner that otherwise wouldn't be possible. Wall dashing is tricky, but once you understand why it works, then it gets a little bit easier to accomplish. But it's still not easy. The movement looks a little like this. First, you jolt your car towards the ground with a small movement on your joystick, then quickly back the other way. What this does is it creates a swing in your movement so that when you jump, your inertia keeps you from jumping clean off the wall right away, and that gives you room to flip back to the wall and wave dash. So quickly flick your stick towards the ground ever so slightly. Once you're there, begin pulling your joystick towards the opposite direction and slightly forward. Input your first jump during the apex of your swing, and input your second jump once your joystick is in the diagonal to flip into the wall and gain some forward speed. Now, I will say, you have to spam the jump button way faster than you might think. And honestly, even if you mess this up and you only get 1 dash into an accidental jump, you can use a flip to keep ramping your speed and your recovery will still be faster than if you didn't use at least 1 wall dash. This recovery mechanic is one of my personal favorites. When the ball is near the wall and in the air, there's a touch you can get that lobs the ball up near the wall and lands your car going up the wall to follow that touch immediately after. It's essentially a self-pass and can be used in a variety of situations. The goal here is to get a touch that goes straight up as your car travels to the wall. When you're near the ground, this can usually be accomplished by double jumping under the ball to get a touch near the back of your car. This touch has a dual purpose. Firstly, it pops the ball up near the wall for you to chase after. Now, in addition to it being a good touch on the ball, it's also a good touch for your car's movement. The weight of the ball on contact with your tail keeps your tail down while your nose pops up from the jump. This extra movement makes landing on the wall that much easier, giving you a seamless transition to follow the ball using the wall. You can also do this from an aerial by lining up your touch to be on the nose of your car while your wheels face the wall that you're flying towards. This touch up should allow you to land on the wall quickly after to follow the touch you popped up near the wall. This little recovery honestly feels so good when you hit it and often baits an opponent into jumping for a ball that they'll never be first to get to. I've created a training pack to practice the wall preflip and the wall stop touch, so I'll quickly go through that now so you know how to practice each shot. In shot 1, you want to look for a touch on the ball with your flip that lands you on the wall quick enough to follow it with a shot. Typically you take it into a dribble or a ground shot of some kind. Shot 2 is good for the wall stop touch. The real focus of this angle is to practice that touch on the back of your car that pops your tail down and your nose up for the landing. Couple this recovery with a jump into an aerial play, and you'll be really deadly from this position. Shot 3 is the same mechanic as shot 2, except this time we have to get an aerial touch on the ball that keeps it near the wall. It helps to lean back on this touch because it keeps the ball away from the wall so that you can jump and follow it shortly after you land. Touching the ball into the wall doesn't ruin the position, but it does make it a whole lot harder to follow up on your touch cleanly. Shot 4 is another preflip into the wall while getting a touch on the ball, but this time the ball's moving. With this angle, you have the option to set up the touch for an off-the-wall aerial play, or you can keep it low to the ground for a quick ground play. Make sure you practice variation because Rocket League is too dynamic for one option to ever be enough. Shot 5 is another wall stop touch. This time, the ball is moving, and the goal is again to get the back of our car to touch the ball around the same time that we press our second jump. On this shot, because the ball is bouncing as high as it is, when we jump, we need to tilt our nose forward to raise our tail to the ball. Once our tail is under the ball, we press our second jump, and that should help us recover onto the wall to follow our touch with an aerial. If this video was helpful, or you want more Rocket League tips and tricks from me, I've taken over a Rocket League coaching program called the Grand Champ Bootcamp, where we have free and paid communities filled with courses, content, and tons of people looking to find teammates who want to improve. I also host weekly live group events where I cover topics like how to train certain mechanics or how to make decisions like a pro in your ranked games. I even have one event every week where I just play games with anybody who wants to join. Check out the links in the description to learn more. Thanks for your support, and most importantly, thanks for watching.